Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices, and we'll be looking at the S&P and the NASDAQ. So the S&P here, we've got two counts, as you know, one bullish, one bearish. The bearish count, this one here, will remain in place until we get a nice tested support on this level here, the 2,800, and that will take a little bit of time in terms of the move that's moving up through to here in 5 waves here. It needs to complete, and once it completes, it will move back down and test supply, so a little bit like this over here. And once this has got the reaction, we're looking for this to finish off in here. Once it retests here and then starts to move up and make new highs above the previous bounce off the 2.8 and the previous high where it exhausted itself, then we can rule out this bearish count, and then we can go to the bullish count, and then we can straight away start looking at the 3,000. But we can't do that just yet. We just have to monitor both counts and duck and dive and weave and trade where we can with confidence. So let's go in and have a look at this particular structure moving up through here. So I'll just go to the 2-hour chart. Well, actually what we'll do is we'll just have a look at the bullish count first. The bullish count in retrospect is wave 3 here, an A and a B and a C here for wave 4, and then we can look at this as wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and 5 here for wave 1 here, and then we're looking for an A and a B and a C wave for wave 2 here, and then the bullish count to the upside. So from minor wave 2 here, we're moving up into minor wave 3, but from wave 2 here to wave 3, there'll be 5 waves of minute degree. So this blue one here and blue 2 here, and then blue 3, which will be further up at that stage, and so on through here. So, and realistically too, is that the long trade that we really want, the long trade that Elliott traders look for, I guess, is always the wave, the third of the third of the third. So this wave 2 here going into wave 3 would be the third wave. Then this wave here going into its third wave here would be the third of the third, and then we can look for the third again, which will be, if we copy that and put that here and the wave 2 here, then that will be the third of the third of the third. This is, we know that wave 3 is normally quite strong, but when we start getting into the third of the third of the third, we start to getting in is times 3 the power of this one here. So this is where we'll get, this is where we'll get gaps in the market. So this is where we really need to be moving into the market here. So this will be full attention coming into this space. And of course, you know, if we've got our bearish count, this is where it can fail from as well here. So it's going to be a little bit of a journey, but there may be other signals in other markets that can lead us into either the bear market or the bull market a little bit earlier in that case. So the 28 here has already been, you know, retested. Number 8 is always a profit-taking number to me anyway, part of the trading levels numbers, but because it's done its work here, then it would have worn down the resistance here. So we're only going to see small corrections across here. Now that we've got this wave 4 in here, in place here, then the rest of them shouldn't drop below that here. And even this wave 2, you know, may not drop past this particular support that comes in, because we'll have 1, 2, 3 supports here for this, but it's not such a big deal. But just need to mention these things. I'll just go to the 2-hour chart now. So the 2-hour chart is don't need to worry about that or that. So from the low here, we can count this as wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 1 and wave 2 here, and then up the 3rd, the 4th here, and then up the 5th here, and then looking for this wave 5 here should take us up into, look, somewhere between 28.10 and 20, somewhere in that particular space there. And then we're looking for a wave 4. So yeah, I mean, wave 2s were simple here, right? So they were simple and sharp, so that means that these guys here will be more complex here. So we're looking for an A wave, a B wave here, and a C wave here. Once we got this wave 3 high in here, then we could look for the 38.2% retracement level here as well. It's not that we're interested in trading this wave 3 to 4 here by the by either. So it's basically back on support over here that we want. But let's just see how we go within all of this. We might be able to get in a few little trades, whatever. But yeah, I mean, with the other point here too, the 28 here, the 800 here, is the number, and we know that that's a minor level, and then we got our sub levels. So our sub levels are 1, 2 and 3 here, and then the next one is at the 5 here, the midpoint, the 50, and then below the 800 here we've got the next group of sub levels here. So we know that while the market's vibrating and doing its correction at that level, then these two here become the filters. They become the supports and the resistance in the uptrend. But eventually, once this here, once that, whenever, even if I've got all this wrong, this market keeps going up here, if we get tested support on top of number 3 here, top of group 1, we need to be long from that point. So if this continues up here and I've made an error and we get a tested support on number 3 there, the 30, we have to be long from that point, and then we'll look to add in on the 50 here as well. So we can put that level there now as well. So the 50 and then the 65 somewhere there, and 72 and 80, that little group there. And we normally color that one orange just to make it look pretty. Gives us a bit of gives it a bit of a skeleton there, so we know where we are. Right, so let's just move into the 1 hour chart here, and then the tick chart. So last time we spoke, I can't remember exactly what I said, but basically that's the 38.2% retracement level on the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree and all that sort of stuff. We did have 5 waves coming down through here, so I was looking for an A and a B and a C back up to the 50-60%, and then wave C to come down, but and it did. So, but it wasn't very long. It was a very sort of stubby little guy here. So, but this is definitely corrective, and that would have been the trigger for the next high here, next long trade as well. I didn't mention that, but you should know these things by now. So that high there on top of the B wave, because it would have pulled back 50-odd% and dropped, so that's your trigger. But then you can also get a better trigger. You can bring that down to the next high when it sits on this level here as well. And that way, when the market moves up through it, it's proving to you that it's strong and taking you with it. So you're surfing, you're catching that wave. But I'll just leave that there. And of course, there's going to be some vibrations here at the 2,800 here, the level. But we should climb higher. How far we climb higher, I don't know. But 1 is going to be really strong. So, I mean, for me, I'd just take the money at this level here and go and enjoy myself. But you could squeeze more out of it to the 1 here and maybe even the 2 here. But really, we want to see this market move up and exhaust itself and then fold back. Once it folds back and it finishes the distribution process, then it starts the accumulation process during the correction here. And this is also quite an emotional time within a correction as well, and there's a lot going on in a correction. But yeah, look, it's not going to be easy through all of this, so don't go losing any money. What we're waiting for is for this to finish, and this also too on the charts on our website. website can have, if I can just copy that, has this as the top here as well. And it's got a slightly different count with all of this as part of the bearish count, but it can finish here as well. So we're going to have to be really careful within all of this space here. So once you're out of this here, just know that you're in, if you're going to be in the market, then you're in there for the scalping and nothing else at that point. But we're looking for the trend, and that's going to be another story. So just breaking that down here a little bit further here. So we've had 5 waves down through to here as recognized, and then an ABC that's pulled back up, I don't know, a bit lower, but to the supply levels anyway. And then I have to count this down here as, I mean, it does count as 5 waves. It's just a bit short, but 1 and 2 here and 3 here, ABC for 4 and down for 5. So normally we would see that come down further, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And then here we've got wave 1, ABC for wave 2, and wave 1 and 2 here. And then we've got wave 1 and 2 here, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here for the third. There'll still be the fourth here and the fifth. So there's still more in this trend to go. I just don't know how it's going to sort of finish off here, if it's going to extend, if it's going to be just a much shorter wave structure, and so on. But these levels are going to be important. The 8 here, and then the 1 being the second strongest number in the market, that's going to give you some grief here. It may stretch up to the 2 here. All right, the NASDAQ. So I'll just go straight to, okay, we're in the daily chart. Okay, so I've got, I'll just talk about this for a second. I've got this as a bullish count here. If it was going to roll over with the S&P, then it would top out on wave 1 here, and then we'd have to bring wave 4 over here. But I think this is a pretty good bullish scenario occurring here. So apart from that bearish count here, finishing here and collapsing here and coming down here, then the bullish count for the upside here can be twofold. It can be how I've got it here as wave 3 here, an A and a B and a C and a D and an E wave for wave 4 here, and we've got 5 waves of minute degree going up for wave 1, pulling back for wave 2 here, and then moving up for wave 1 and back for 2, and then moving into the third of the third, and so on up to here. So that's one count. The other count here that needs to be pointed out is that wave 4 could be in this space here. It's probably not the case, but an A and a B and a C here. And then this move up here would be wave 1, which would be in orange, and then wave 2 for here. And then this one here becomes wave 3, and this one here becomes wave 4, and then we're going up for wave 5 here. So I don't think that's the case, but it's possible. It does make wave 4 here very very simple, which really wouldn't be the case, because if wave 2 here was simple, then this one would be complex. But what it does have as a wave 4, it does have the 38.2% retracement level. So if that's wave 2 down where that E wave is, and then we've got wave 3 up top here, on this top here, then it makes this the 38.2% retracement level. So there is a case for it. It's just a little bit thin on the ground in terms of this should be much more complicated here. So overall, I think that this is probably right. But once again, we're just going to wait for this to complete here, and when it pulls back for wave 2, then we can look for a move to the upside. So I think we'll just go into the A wave here. So let me squash this up. So we've got wave 1 here, an A and a B, and 5 waves down for wave 2 here. And like the S&P on the bullish count, we've got wave 1 and 2 here, wave 1 and 2 here. Then we've got wave 3 moving up here, wave 4 moving back. So this is 2 days old, this here, so we need to tweak, whoopsie daisy, we need to just tweak this in a little bit. So just bear with me a bit. So if we move that over there, we'll move that up there, we'll move that there. delete that. So let me just straighten this up a little bit. This counts differently from the S&P, but that in that little space there. But the first thing I look at when I look at this here is that I can see that from here to here is like nice and strong and long. So that's got to be the third wave, doesn't it? And that would have to start from here. So it'd be a 1 and a 2 here, and then a third wave here. So we're still looking for. Sorry, that could actually just. That can just jump up a bit higher, but we've still got. I'll tweak this in a bit later, but it'll just follow the S&P, but it'll be a bit like this here. Okay. Yep, that feels all right. I mean, if anybody's trading this, like, I mean, I like to keep an eye on this because I put stock trades out, and you know, we're long in a few NASDAQ stocks, and so I like to sort of, obviously those stocks create this, yeah, I like to keep an eye on it. But if you're actually trading it, just flick us an email, and then I can just sort of. I like to know how many people are actually intraday trading it, and then I can go into the tick chart with it and help out a little bit more. Alrighty, thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.